from the cold theaters of the world. This is Circuit Breaker. Brought to you by the entertainment site awardcircuit.com. An in-depth chat on film, television, and all the award shows that need predicting. Here's your host, Clayton Davis.
Hello, readers, and welcome to Circuit Breaker, brought to you by the entertainment website awardcircuit.com. I'm your editor-in-chief and owner, Clayton Davis, here today on April 19th, 2020. Time of recording is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is episode 183. I think this is officially day 30 for me of quarantine. This is the official day 30. Here today with Karen M. Peterson.
Hello.
Joey.
Hey.
Mark Johnson.
What's going on, everyone?
And the world.
Nothing.
Right.
What did you do different today that you didn't do yesterday?
I learned how to build on Fortnite.
Oh, did you?
My son is an avid Fortnite player, and when I play with him, when he gets me to play with him, I just run around and shoot as much as I can.
How old is Luke?
This is Caleb, actually. Caleb just turned 12. Luke just turned 10.
I was really asking about Luke because why? My daughter has been playing Roadblocks.
Oh, yeah.
And she has been like begging me to ask my friends who have kids if they play Roadblocks so I can hook them up on Roadblocks.
Yeah. Luke loves it.
It looks like utter nonsense, but
it's insane.
When this is over, we'll share screen names for our children and they can become friends. They could be long distance friends.
There you go. Just like me and your wife.
Yeah, exactly. Similar. Karen, what did you do different today?
Nothing. It's only 8:20 in the morning here.
So she woke up differently.
Yeah.
I woke up at 7:55. I got to my computer and here I am.
Do you guys feel like you're sleeping? You guys feel like you're sleeping more or less or the same?
The same.
The same? Like you still have the same bedtime when you were getting up for work?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the same routine as much as I can.
Oh no, I'm definitely staying in bed longer, but lately I've not been sleeping more because there's a bird outside my window that likes to have parties at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Typical Latino. That's what it is. It's just like one of us, just like partying up. There's music that plays usually at night. That every day at 7 o'clock, we're supposed to go to our porches to applaud the first responders. But there are no doctors on my block, so I hear it from other blocks. I guess I have the stupidest block in the city. But yeah, we hear some people play music and stuff. Sometimes it's like kind of interesting. My favorite part though that I'm gonna miss, the only thing I'm gonna miss from quarantine, is I have gotten so used to / I just really enjoy my day job. Workday starts at 8. Rolling out of bed at 7:57 to walk the 3 feet to my office. I don't know if I could ever go back to not doing that.
I wouldn't mind not working exactly from my house anymore, but I have a very ridiculously long commute.
Yeah.
And I am not looking forward to having to go back to that.
Yeah. So, in my day job, I have the option of being remote, like being full-time remote and work from home always. But I don't because I'm up anyway in the morning to drive the kids and Jessica to work. And then I'm just like, I might as well just go to work. And I like being around people. So while that part of this, excuse me, I just burped. While this part, sucks, like doing, staying inside, the not having a shower that few minutes before, because I'm definitely like, just showering at night, like mostly, or when it just is getting bad. Because I'm feeling it, man. Like sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's just like,
no, I was the only person who was working more during it for a while because I had a gig helping out the kids of doctors and first responders and stuff. So I was oddly waking up earlier than I was before. But then, like everyone else, I got canned from that. So then it became just, I don't know, days lose all meaning. So I suppose I sleep more because what the hell does it matter? Yeah.
I've been watching a ton of movies and TV, like catching up on stuff that I've never seen before.
Excuse me. It's Tom Cruise movies. We've seen your Instagram.
Oh, I've seen a bunch of those too. Hey, if they're gonna keep putting them on TV, I'm gonna keep watching them. That's just how it is.
That's fair. I had a Sorkin run last week.
That made me,
and then I watched What We Do in the Shadows.
That made me think of a Friends reference. You sounded like Chandler's boss. Like, they keep throwing those sexual harassment cases at me. I keep knocking them out of the park.
That is what we say about Karen when the podcast is off.
Exactly. All right. So I'm only going to allow 5 bits of bad news. I'm going to use the next 5 minutes to use it. So 1, Neiman Marcus is filing bankruptcy. So that's this week. That just broke today. 2,
wow.
Allegedly, AMC is talking about declaring bankruptcy in the next week or so. It's been rumors.
Yeah,
they've been trying to.
That's like an organized one. They're not going to go out of business. We're trying to
reconsolidate
that.
Yeah, it won't be the end of AMC, at least right now. But
they charge $53 for a small soda. They'll be fine.
Well, they do that.
That's why they're going.
Yeah, that's why they do that. Yeah. They do that because of the cut they have to give the movie theaters. People always say, "Oh, it's really expensive at a movie theater." They do that because they have to in order to stay.
Yeah, they get about 10% of the ticket.
Yeah.
Well, in the first week for big movies, they don't get anything.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the deal. They have individual deals with different.
There's only 3 theaters, so it's not really a lot of deals to go around.
That's why, Disney owning Fox and owning so many different things is bad for the theaters, because whatever deal they made with Disney now applies to Fox, now applies to Pixar when they did that, as opposed to, they might have a friendlier deal with Warner Brothers, for example.
Yeah. There's a very funny meme, by the way, that Neiman Marcus filed bankruptcy and JCPenney's did not. What the hell? Because, anyone who knows JCPenney, it's still shocking that they're still around today. Number three. Let's see. I'm only little bits of bad news. I'm looking for a little bit of bad news.
Still no sports. There you go.
Actually, there was a sobering article. I've been sharing it with everyone. That was in Sports Illustrated. It was quite alarming about how sports are not coming back at all in 2020. And it laid it out in a very, very brilliant way. I'm surprised that the most realistic article that we could have gotten this year came from Sports Illustrated. But it was sports aren't coming back in 2020. And your natural reaction is going to be, well, we can have NFL, just have them play games, and we won't have spectators, but we could still have football. But then
You mean the game where they all touch each other?
But they break down how that is it's impractical, and you can't do that because one is that you have to quarantine all the players, coaches, staff, all that stuff.
Well, that's baseball too.
Well, they break it down first in football terms first,
you got 50 players on each team.
50 players, you have to quarantine them all,
plus the coaching staff,
plus all the reporters that are going to cover the game, all that stuff. They have to be quarantined, and these people have to be quarantined. Trainers, they have to be quarantined from their families, right? And then you have to talk about transporting them from said hotel where they're quarantined to the games and back. And then you have to, if someone gets hurt, you have to have medical staff waiting outside the stadium because they haven't self-quarantined or whatever. And if someone gets hurt, they have to come in, and that's dirtying everything up. And then when they get to the hotel room, then you have to worry about Joe Schmo player who doesn't want to just Tinder in the middle of the night to get a girl to come up to their room. And then your next question is going to be well, why don't we just get security? Okay, so now you're talking about quarantining security and all these things. And all you need is...
And what about all the hotel staff?
All that stuff. And then they said, all you need, though, is one person to get sick to crumble the whole system. And then we're back to where we need to be anyway. So
a perfect example of that is what's happening here with the Navy medical ship that they brought to LA, where it's okay, this is supposed to help with the overflow of medical issues and hospitalizations, but they decided to make it not for COVID patients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was okay, you've got a ship now that's not for COVID patients, that is a bunch of people in a very confined space. The second one person gets it, it's going to rip through that ship. And then 7 people have tested positive. It's well, yeah, there you go. And it's the same thing if they start quarantining, athletes so that we can watch a game. And I know there's a lot of money to be had in sports, but there are a lot of businesses that are losing money right now, and they just have to suck it up and be part of that, unfortunately.
So, then it like really like lays out the sobering part of the article is when it gets to the end and it says, listen, some people, I've heard the guy's like, I've heard some people talk about like, listen, like we need to get everything, back up and running. And there's the whole saying that, we can't let the cure be worse than the disease bull crap. So then they said, okay, fine. This is how you get football back in the fall. You let everyone out right now. Everyone. Say social distance is over. Everyone's out. We're a big enough country that what's going to happen is the virus is going to spread and it's going to die itself out. And it'll be done by September. So if you stop social distancing, it will run itself out and the virus will stop in September. However, 2 million people would be dead in September. 2 million. And then he puts into a larger context, like, we're really bad with numbers. So that is a Super Bowl being filled to capacity, having a terrorist attack, being blown up 24 times. And that is like having 9/11 once a day, every day for 18 months. And then you talk about all the blood, sweat, and tears, money spent, people died trying to prevent one more 9/11, and you're saying that it's okay, let's have a 9/11 every day for 18 months just so we can get football back. It will be...
Mark, the Browns are worth that, right?
sounds about right.
Yeah. Like we will get sports back, we will get everything back. It's going to take longer. The virus will determine that, not us. So let's just do that.
It's interesting when you have to put things in terms like that so that people get it. Because I was talking to a friend, she was like, 1% mortality rate's not that bad. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about how many people that actually is. And then she was like, oh, wait, okay, yeah.
Well, considering there's only 100 people in the United States, it's a very...
Yeah, exactly. And then last bit of bad news, Florida. We are the Florida of the world. That's the United States. This is my favorite meme that I've heard.
True. I mean, we're the Florida of the universe also.
Oh, Florida. Oh, Florida. Mark, you're the closest to us.
Yeah.
What do you... I'm really bad at where you are in Ohio. What do you border?
Florida.
I know definitely not Florida, but what's the nearest state to you on that side?
I mean, on the east we have Pennsylvania, and then on the west we have Indiana.
I know, but what are you
north.
closer to personally?
I'm northeast Ohio, so I'd be closer to Pennsylvania than any other state. Although Michigan's not far either.
How far are you from Pittsburgh?
Like 2 hours.
Oh, really? Oh,
so weird to me.
Well, that's why we're huge. That's why we're huge rivals.
Why is that weird that he's next to Pittsburgh, or weird that Mark is alive?
No, it's weird that it's only 2 hours away to another state. It's like you have to go at least 4 hours from me to get to another state, and it's Nevada. No. And then you still have to drive another hour to get to Vegas.
Honestly, I don't think...
Hold on, Karen. But however, let's talk about you're 2 hours from another country.
That is true.
Okay, so...
That is true.
There's that. The closest country would take me 12 hours? I think it's 12 hours to Canada.
No, really?
Yeah.
How are you planning on traveling? Because it's an hour flight.
Yeah, I mean, is it 12? It's like 9. It's like 9 to 10 hours. I don't know how. I've never driven to Canada, but no, I think it's like 12 hours.
I think it's like an 8 or 9 hour drive for me.
It's very far regardless. Like, it's up there.
Well, you just got to go through the entirety of New York State.
Yeah. Karen, and then Delaware is 2 hours for me. And then Maryland is another hour after that, because you're probably less because you're only in Delaware for like,
I mean, you're 20 minutes away from another state. You can get to a screening in a half hour.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who it was that said Delaware doesn't exist. Who do you know that's ever been to Delaware?
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know Joe Biden. He could be making that up.
Oh, you know.
I don't know. He emails me all the time.
I've never been to Ohio, so Ohio's like 7 hours, I guess, from me. Because Pittsburgh is like 6 hours. Because I think to get across all of Pennsylvania, it's like 6 hours. I think. Mark, how long would it take you to drive to New York if you did?
6 hours, maybe 7.
Yeah. So
something like that, maybe.
Gosh,
I've only done it once, but
It would take me like 4 days.
Yeah, it would take us like 4 days to go to LA if we drove there.
I know, but it's like that's how big this country is.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Well, also, I mean, California just also like you're just a very elongated state. So, but if you go from east to west, though, it's like what, like 3-4 hours east to west of California?
No, it's like 6 or 7.
Is it really?
If you go from the coast to the border, it's probably 6 hours.
To go from the top of New Jersey from north to south of New Jersey is like 4 hours, 3 hours, depending on your foot.
To go from the Mexican border to Oregon is like 15 or 16 hours.
I was on a work trip and I was at Cal State San Marcos, and then she was telling me that like one of my students was telling me that was like 40 minutes from Tijuana. And she was like, why don't you just go visit? And at that point I was like, no. I was like, not right now. Like any other time in history, sure, I try it, but not now. This was like a year ago, but it was during, obviously Trump administration. So I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'll try it like next presidency, maybe. But that also just seemed bananas to
that
me.
border crossing, it takes forever to come back. It's
Does
like
it?
4 or 5 hour lines to try to cross back.
Is it really?
Yeah. Just because there's so many people, yeah. I mean, certain times of the year, it's not that crowded, but usually, yeah.
Have you been to Mexico many times?
Not many, but a few. I had some friends that their family had a beach house in San Felipe, which is this cute little beach town. And so we went for spring break a couple of times and stuff.
Oh, I have never been to Mexico.
I've never been I've never been to proper Mexico. I've only been to Baja, California.
What's proper?
Well, it's like Baja is this peninsula that's not really attached to the main part of Mexico.
I only know Baja Fresh. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Science.
So I've never been to Mexico City. I've never been to like where the Mayan pyramids are and stuff like that.
She's never been to Sicaria.
Here's a fun question. What is a local chain food restaurant around you that the rest of us probably have never experienced that's just delicious?
Oh, God.
I'm New York. Everything is global.
No, that's a lie. Because
Nathan's is the only thing by me that's known for Coney Island. And
is
it's
that the only chain restaurant that's near you, Joey?
Besides global change, yes, everything is global.
So
there's a McDonald's and there's a...
So Junior's Cheesecake is global?
Yes.
No, it isn't.
I've never heard of it.
Joey.
Junior's is in more than one state. Besides the fact that it's a half hour away from me,
doesn't mean it's a global brand.
No.
Poor Joey.
So listen.
Go ahead, Mark.
In Ohio, we have... So you remember in Pulp Fiction, the Big Kahuna Burger, right?
Yeah.
So we have something very similar to that here. And I know it's kind of... I don't know if you remember hearing...
Watch him say White Castle. I'm going to slap him across his face. Go ahead.
When Trainwreck came out, do you remember? I think it was called Trainwreck, right?
Yeah. Wait, Amy Schumer?
Amy Schumer, right.
Yeah.
LeBron was in it, right? So he took the whole crew, including Amy and whatnot, to... it's called Swenson's. Do you remember hearing about that? That was kind of a big deal around here when that happened. But anyway...
You don't have news.
It is, right. It is fantastic. If you're ever in this area, Swenson's. There's another one that's very similar called Skyway. But they're like the Big Kahuna Burger from Pulp Fiction. They're
really?
Very good, yeah.
Wait, is Big Kahuna real?
They're like a burger that nobody's ever tasted.
Wait, is Big Kahuna real in California?
There was a pop-up.
I mean, it's not a chain.
No, it wasn't like a thing. So, yeah. Like In-N-Out, obviously, is a West Coast thing. That's not anywhere over here.
It's not still because it used to be the family would not franchise outside of California, and now it's popped up. They've got them in Utah, Nevada, I think Idaho,
they haven't gone.
Texas.
The closest thing we got to it, which is gross, is Carl's Jr.
Oh yeah, Carl's Jr. is awful.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now, as a burger aficionado,
Don't say it.
The In-N-Out burger is the most overrated. burger.
It is 100%. 100%. No, I co-sign 1,000%. It is the most aggressively fine burger I've had
It's
in my
basically a
life.
McDonald's burger.
No, it's not.
It is
burger.
definitely not.
It's
For
not a
me,
McDonald's burger.
it might as well have been fast food.
No, well, it is fast food.
No, I mean
but
like chain gross McDonald's fast food.
But it's funny because when my sister was in college in Connecticut, I went and visited her one time, and we went to Shake Shack, and it was the first time I'd ever been to Shake Shack.
Yeah, Shake Shack is us. See,
and
Joey,
I
that's
took
not
a
global.
bite. No, we have those here now too.
Shake Shack is global.
It just got over there.
Yeah, it
I
did.
had it in Dubai. It's global.
Anyway, so I took a bite, and I told my sister, I'm like, oh my gosh, this might be. And she goes, don't you dare say it.
The furthest east that In-N-Out has gotten is Texas.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's where I had it. Was in Dallas.
Because
Well, that's the problem, Mark. You have to have it in California.
It might be. They very well could. But the one I had was maybe on McDonald's level stuff.
It is very overrated, though. Like,
Nothing is
everything
that good
expands.
in Texas, though.
The halal guy's cart food is located in California and Vegas as well. So
the first time I went to Texas, we were actually going to New York, and we got stuck in Dallas overnight because there was a problem with like flights and stuff. And so my friend and I, we were like, well, let's just make the most of it. Let's go get a good like Texas steak for dinner, you know?
Right.
So we called the front desk of our hotel to ask like, hey, where can we go to get a good Texas steak? And the girl at the front desk goes, there's an
Texas
Outback
Roadhouse.
Steakhouse down the street.
I will tell you that is the one thing Texas does get right. They have a bunch because one of our branches is in Dallas. I've been there a couple times, and they have this. I think it's called actually Hard 8. Is the barbecue type place, and
that's
the amount
Paul
of
Thomas
meat.
Anderson's
it was
first
originally
movie.
called Sydney.
Yeah, I think it's the
and
same.
then they changed
same
it.
title. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
If that was true too.
Right?
I went to Texas in February for the first time. I went to Houston, and I had a terrible time there because we were like, oh, we're gonna get some good Texas food there, and we drove and had Whataburger,
Oh, no.
and it was trash. It was a trash
Yep.
burger. And then after that, we went to something called the Brisket House because we were like, all right, we'll get some like BBQ stuff, and that was like, like it was just all right. Like I am, yeah. You know what isn't up here yet? And it's all down south, and that's Bojangles.
Oh,
Bojangles
is that chicken?
light. It's chicken. Yes.
Yeah, Bojangles is good.
It is. It is.
I think I've had that.
It's 1,000 times better. Like, listen, I love Popeyes, and I will like die by Popeyes, but it is better than Popeyes.
I mean, if you keep eating Popeyes, you will die by Popeyes. That's accurate.
That's fine. That's a good death to endure.
Good statement.
Yeah.
Have you guys had Raising Cane's?
Raising Pains? I never heard of that.
Canes.
Oh,
Raising Cane's.
I think of pains. The growing pains. That's Kirk
It's
Cameron.
like
It's a cocaine
tenders.
emporium.
Basically. It's this chicken place, and they just have chicken tenders and Texas toast. And I think it's gross, but the line is always wrapped around the block, and I'm like, what is wrong with you
God.
people? I swear they must put crack in it. That's the only explanation.
It's cocaine, hence the Raising Cane.
This is California. It's crack, which is classier.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. True
That
story.
has not been Mark's experience.
Mark, do you
Right? Oh,
Mark, do you
I'm
have White
surprised.
Castle in Ohio?
Yeah, and that's the worst burger.
Oh,
I've
it
ever
is.
had.
Yeah.
It is
Jessica
absolute
Jessica
trash.
hates that I won't allow White Castle in this house.
Yeah,
That is the most
No.
masculine I've ever been. I was like, that will never enter this home. Like
Yeah.
you have that elsewhere. That is garbage. Because first of all, it wrecks everything inside of you, and that's why I don't like Chipotle either. I know that's like a crime, but I don't like
Chipotle's
Chipotle.
the grossest thing.
Chipotle.
Oh,
Like, listen, it will always make me think of the South Park episode. Like if I eat it, I have to make sure I'm in my home, like in safe areas where I can properly go to the bathroom in peace and harmony. Like, it is not.
That's bad news number 4.
Yeah.
We
Like,
have we have one here called Cafe Rio, and people ask me what Cafe Rio is, and I say it's like if Chipotle was good and had less E. coli.
well, yeah, and you guys have Del Taco too, right? Isn't Del Taco pretty
yeah,
good?
that's a West Coast thing, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
I always hear about that one.
Do you have?
Del Taco's
Do you
alright.
have a?
It's better than Taco Bell.
Do you guys still have Pollo Loco over there?
Oh yeah,
They're like disappearing over here. I don't think we have them here.
really? That's so sad.
Yeah.
I love El Pollo Loco.
I used to like it too, and then like it just maybe it was just the area it was in. I mean, it's got to be maybe it's somewhere, but I haven't run into it in quite some time. You know what was the biggest thing? Joey, you might be able to co-sign here. So maybe like 10. No, it was more than that because I've been with Jessica 12 years now. So yeah, it was like 12 years ago. 12 years ago, we went to North Carolina and to go visit her cousin. And then my sister lives in Virginia. And that's when we first experienced Sonic. And then we couldn't wait for Sonic to get up here. And then when Sonic did get up here, we were just so
still
like,
never had it.
Oh, it's so like after like you have it like a few times and then it becomes so like bland and you're like, God.
The drinks and the shakes are good, but the food is not.
It's all about It's all it is. It's like it's a weird thing to be like, oh, I want some juice. Let me go to Sonic.
No, the thing I want to come up to New York is Waffle House, and it never will.
Oh yeah, that's a Florida thing. Like it's a little bit of Virginia.
I mean, I had it in Georgia and I had it in North Carolina at Film Fest 919.
It's very, very south.
Wait,
do you wait, Mark? Do you not have Waffle House?
No, yeah, we do. I've just never been to one.
Oh,
so you have to go after midnight.
Do you have
you have to go?
Do you have IHOPs there?
Yeah,
the International House of Pancakes. They probably made it to Ohio.
I'm not a huge fan of the chain breakfast places. I think if I'm doing breakfast out, then I like the diner. Better.
Well, actually, you know what we don't have enough around here? The closest one is in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is like 2 hours away, is Denny's.
Gross.
Well, you have nothing else to do.
If you have
Why
one
not
2
go?
hours away, you have plenty of them.
We have plenty. But Denny's is good.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Stop.
Ugh, no.
Stop. Denny's is delicious.
No.
Oh.
This is a race to the bottom.
Oh. We're going to have people like talking like, we're going to have our international readers like, have you ever had Francois Couture? And whatever. That was an attempt to say something.
I do like French food, so please tell me where that's
The
located.
croissants are awesome.
Croissant.
Studios, if you want better content, start releasing more movies, please.
Exactly. Actually, name your favorite dessert. If you could have a dessert right now. And I'll tell you if it's gross or not.
Mine's embarrassing.
Wait, what?
Mine's embarrassing.
What is it?
I have two, but
It's going to be so high class, highbrow.
no, it's really not. It's
Baked Alaska.
It's
No.
so.
It's going to be like
what it is,
popcorn. Go ahead.
It's strawberry shortcake.
Oh no! Wait, strawberry
Why is that
shortcake.
embarrassing?
I don't know. Every time I tell people that, I get
Wait, hold on.
fun of,
Strawberry
so.
shortcake ice cream, like the bar,
like strawberry
like the angel
shortcake.
food cake that has the strawberry syrup and the vanilla ice cream.
Listen, hold on. Time out. It is not.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not an embarrassing thing. You should be okay with that. But I have to say here that it means two different things to us New Yorkers. There's strawberry shortcake, like the strawberry shortcake that like. I call this the white people version that Mark just described. And then,
Which is delicious.
That's my favorite.
I haven't really had that before. I had strawberry shortcake, which is the ice cream bar that like it's strawberry
that
ice
too.
cream that's like covered in like crumbles and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
That is my strawberry shortcake.
I'm a big fan of that as well. But the real, with the I think is it Angel's food cake?
Yeah.
No, there's people will make strawberry desserts with angel food cake, but there's actually shortcake.
Shortcake.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
That's acceptable,
stuff,
Mark.
Yeah, Mark, we didn't need a reason to make fun of you. It wasn't strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
It's just because.
That one was fine. Mark, that was actually the most normal thing I've ever heard you say. So
all right, there you
go. Karen, go ahead.
Oh man, mine's gonna sound all highbrow and whatever, but I could really go for some.
You're gonna say okay.
Close. I could go for some really good creme brulee.
Oh, I love creme brulee.
Yes.
I have never had creme brulee.
Really?
No,
you
never.
are missing out.
Yeah, I didn't learn of its existence until I worked at Bed Bath and Beyond, and then we sold the creme brulee.
They had the torches and stuff.
And
I used to work at a fine dining restaurant that we had this amazing creme brulee, and every once in a while I'd accidentally ring one more in than needed and be like, oh shoot, I only needed 3, not 4, just so that we could eat it. Hey, listen,
does that restaurant still exist? It's probably under now because of your ass, you asshole.
A good waiter tastes the food before,
exactly. Nice.
So that they can understand the texture.
Joey?
Oh yeah. I don't really have dessert anymore because it's poison to me with the whole diabetes thing. But I do make time for a chocolate milkshake once in a while.
Oh yeah. Can't go wrong there.
I had to give up desserts to keep living.
So let me ask you, Frosty, vanilla or chocolate?
Oh,
Wait, from Wendy's?
Yeah.
Vanilla.
Oh,
Never chocolate.
Oh my god.
Yeah, chocolate's.
I'm not a huge Frosty person because it's basically just ice cream.
Oh, I love the Frosty.
I want to have it as a beverage.
It's like a malt.
No.
I've never had the vanilla.
Oh,
because the chocolate's so good.
No. I don't. First of all, I don't like chocolate most anything.
I don't either. I don't like chocolate ice cream.
I don't like chocolate ice cream
Frosty
either. Chocolate ice cream is disgusting.
It's different.
I love chocolate ice cream. I don't like chocolate cake.
I only eat chocolate cake if there's vanilla frosting on it. And it has to be like...
No, I only eat chocolate cake if there's chocolate frosting.
Right.
It's disgusting.
That's my son's birthday cake this week was chocolate cake with white frosting. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't touch it.
That's backwards. White cake, chocolate frosting.
That's what I said.
No, it's got to be golden cake.
The day I knew I was in love with Jessica, that I knew that like this was like it, is the day she looked me dead in my eye and said, "I don't like birthday cake," and I knew we were meant to be. And I was like, "So you'd rather have an ice cream cake?" And she said, "Absolutely." And I said, "Marry me."
Hate it.
Marry me.
The ice cream cake is probably my least favorite dessert of all time.
So here it goes right now. Putting it out there. Take it in. Write it down. Etch it into your skull. If and when Award Circuit becomes this multi-billion-dollar entity and we're all in the same office and it is Clayton's birthday, you are to bring Clayton an ice cream cake. You bring me a regular cake, that's your last day in that office. Like 100% out. You will it will make headlines. Boss fires entire staff for birthday cake because it's gross.
Even carrot cake with a nice cream cheese frosting?
Carrot cake, carrot cake's not birthday cake.
Oh, okay.
Stop it. No, I'm talking about birthday, like, stupid birthday cake.
Yeah, like boring yellow cake with white frosting.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. Carrot cake is amazing. Actually, my favorite...
Carrot cake... Go ahead.
No, my favorite treats used to be those, I don't know what they're fucking called. The square carrot cake things that, like, were wrapped in cellophane. I don't remember what the fuck they were called.
Really?
Joey, help me here. It used to be at their corner store bodegas, man.
It's a New York thing.
I don't live near one.
You don't live near...
You have those, like, tasty cakes?
Hold on, you don't live near a bodega?
I do not.
Joey, you live in Brooklyn.
I live in Coney Island. It's nowhere near that. It's residential. It's completely residential.
Oh my god, Joey, you are blowing my mind right now. This is like,
if I showed you a picture of my window, it would not look like New York to you. It's just apartment complexes. There's nothing.
Yes.
There's nothing.
And there's no Manhattan-y about it. There's no corner store.
No, there's a CVS.
That's all. That's the only stores that are there. What do you have supermarket wise?
There's a Key Food. That's not a bodega.
Okay, and there's no other food. There's no other corner place you can get like a gallon of milk. That unless you go to Key Food.
There's a price gouging CVS. I mean, price gouging Key Food. Yes. I could walk 20 minutes into like the projects, but why would I do that?
just Google map. Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Karen. What were you gonna say? Joey's killing me today.
Oh, I was just trying to figure out what you were talking about. I was asking if it was the tasty cakes thing.
Maybe. Actually, you know what I learned? Do you? I don't think you have it on the West Coast. You don't? Do you have Entenmann's?
Yeah.
Entenmann's isn't as global as I thought it was, though, because we have an Entenmann's like outlet here in New Jersey, which also sounds gross on its face, but it's not. It's like actually where Entenmann's is a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, I grew up near a Wonder Bread factory, and the Wonder Bread outlet was awesome. It was all super fresh, and you could go get like bread and Twinkies and whatever. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what's your favorite?
It was Hostess.
What's your favorite?
Yeah.
Favorite bread. If you have a piece of bread right now.
Ciabatta.
Really?
Yeah,
that was pretty high. That was pretty highbrow, Mark.
I know. I can't help it. Ciabatta bread with a turkey club. Okay. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm down with that. Joey.
I mean, this is just all things that I can't eat anymore. So thanks.
God, you can talk about it, though, Joey, when you were eating it.
I mean, I never appreciated it.
How about a nice focaccia?
No. No. I like bread you can pronounce. I like rye bread. Like seedless rye bread is fine.
No.
Seedless white bread? That's it? So a Wonder Bread?
No, rye. No, rye bread.
Rye. Okay. I said seedless white bread. I was like, so Wonder Bread?
Like, I mean, at this point, yes, I would take Wonder Bread.
All right. Karen?
That's the last bread I probably had. I made croutons with it once, like a year ago.
I mean, now I want Wonder white bread.
Now you want Wonder Bread? So if I'm out to a restaurant, I will always take the Outback bread.
The
Outback bread from Outback is like slamming. I do enjoy. It also depends. If I'm about to smother it in butter, then pumpernickel, like hot pumpernickel's delicious. But if I'm making a sandwich, like with deli meat, potato. If I'm making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, cinnamon raisin.
I love that.
Cinnamon raisin.
I really want
is
to
probably my favorite
know
bread.
how many people are still listening.
Oh,
to
so
us.
many.
Right?
So many.
This is like an all-time classic episode.
This is now
We're gonna
ranked
look
number
back in
2.
like 5 years. and
This
be like,
is
"Remember
ranked
when we
number
had
2
COVID?"
best podcast. It's going to be Dark Knight Rises, then this, hands down.
I'm also
in that
amending.
order.
If I'm having bread and butter, I want an English muffin.
Oh God, I love an English muffin.
Wait, ooh, a cinnamon
With
raisin.
cinnamon
English muffin.
raisin.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
No, listen, cinnamon raisin, and try this if you like the cinnamon raisin. Add butter and then honey. It is fantastic.
Okay,
So good.
I'll take that. I have cinnamon raisin English muffins upstairs. We were able to find them, thank God. This has been like treacherous going out to delis and supermarkets.
I love when you go to Mimi's Cafe and they bring you.
I'm sorry, what?
They have like the Mimi's Cafe. Do you guys not have that?
Yeah, you're gonna have
No
to.
idea
You have
what
to
that is.
rewind a little bit.
Yeah. Don't say things like you think we're gonna know them like that right away.
I just thought that was a global thing.
I know Mimi Leader. She directed Deep Impact.
And Mimi
Well, she
from the
also
Drew Carey
has
show.
a chain of cafes. No,
Okay.
she does not. But no, it's like a French bistro style place.
Okay, don't know.
But they're everywhere here, like Applebee's or Outback or
Starbucks.
whatever.
Starbucks is my French cafe. That's what I got here.
Oh dear.
No, all Bonpain is your French cafe.
Oh, you know what's what's
The place at the airport?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's the
what's
Frenchest
that
thing he goes to.
stupid French place that's really gross? That sells like muffins and coffee, and it's Chacopan. Chacopan, is that? Yeah, that's it. Chacopan. It's disgusting. Yeah, that's another one. It's,
Doesn't sound good.
oh, this is good. Talking about food and stuff. Okay, here. Ben and Jerry's or Haagen-Dazs?
Ben and Jerry's.
Haagen-Dazs.
Thank you, Mark.
Depends on the flavor.
Wait,
I
what did you
think
say? Wait,
Depends on the flavor.
oh,
Yeah.
no. Flavor
True.
always is Haagen-Dazs.
No, you know what? No, I agree with Joey. It does depend on the flavor. Like I actually only usually will go for like one or two different Ben and Jerry's ones, but Haagen-Dazs, all of them are good.
Yeah, I only will
Yeah.
buy 3 kinds of ice creams, period, and they're always Haagen-Dazs. Vanilla, strawberry, and cookies and cream.
I like Rocky Road.
The plain, the regular chocolate and vanilla type things, Haagen-Dazs for sure.
That was the most Brooklyn
I
I've
did
ever
like-
heard Joey. He was like the chocolate.
Yeah. But I did like fish food from Ben and Jerry's.
That sounds gross.
It was PH. It was like from the band.
My favorite one is called New York Super Fudge Chunk.
What's in it?
The
Like
The Colbert
nuts
one was good, too.
and chocolate.
Yeah.
and-
I just don't like nuts on my ice cream. That's what she said.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I love
the
the
Americone
nuts.
dream.
I
is
know
good.
you do.
The,
Bet you do, Casanova.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Listen, that's the best part of going to McDonald's
I'm sure
and getting
it
a
is
Sunday
for you.
out.
You
So give me
mess.
the extra
You're a
nuts.
dirty,
Make 'em
dirty
real
man.
salty.
Dirty, filthy, filthy guy you are. God.
There's nothing
Oh, that
better
just made
than
me miss one of the vendors at Angel Stadium. He's always walking up and down trying to sell nuts, and he's like, "Get my salty nuts! Get your hands on my salty nuts!"
he would be arrested in New York.
that is awesome.
Karen, actually, do you have Mr. Softy by you?
No,
Oh.
what's that?
He's the mobile ice cream man that like drives
Oh.
around and has the ice cream music and drives block to block.
I don't remember the last time I saw
An ice cream truck?
ice cream truck. Yeah,
Really?
Wait,
I mean, everybody in California has a car. They're their own ice cream truck.
That's true.
No, I mean growing up we had him
He was-
everywhere,
he was-
but I haven't
I
seen
think
him in a
he's
while.
still. Well, I think actually he stopped driving since the bigger order came down, but he was still driving as of maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, and we were buying from him, and I haven't seen him since. And it's the same ice cream guy. I see him all the time. I like love him. I say hello, and he the day he started taking debit cards, world blew open. Like the world was like, I was like, oh, I can get the banana split now because I have enough cash because that shit was like $7.
Yeah, that's insane. I've only ever gotten an ice cream, a milkshake from an ice cream truck being like, do I have cash in my pocket? Which is never.
Yeah. Yeah, now, I'm like, I never carry cash. Like, it's been like people say it's a bad habit. They say you should always have cash on you.
I mean, yes and no. I never have, besides an ice cream truck milkshake, I've never encountered a thing where it's like, well, we're cash only, but I've needed it, so it doesn't really matter.
I've had times where, like, if I've gone to get gas or something, and the card readers aren't working, stuff like that, and then I end up having to go to another station because I didn't have cash.
Oh, actually, here's something that I own all by myself. I don't pump my own gas.
What?
He's not allowed to.
It's against the law here. The only state. It used to be us.
I like
it used to be us in
Why?
Oregon, and then Oregon, they let you pump gas now, so now it's just Jersey.
Why is it?
I have no idea. I didn't know it was a thing until I drove to my sister's house in Virginia one day, and I stopped in Maryland, and I was like waiting like in the car, like, motherfucker, where are you? Pump my shit. And then like someone came out of like the gas station, like convenience store, and they like waved at me like, what are you waiting for? And I was like, gas? They were like, you have to pump it yourself. And it was
Mark, it's a 1949 law. From when it was still a fire hazard to pump your own gas.
And can I just say though, I hope they never change the law though. Oh my god, it is the most spoiling thing, white privilege, white thing.
Oh, I remember.
Ever. My god, especially in wintertime, like my ass doesn't have to get out of the car because bitter fucking winters suck here. So
I mean, you can have someone do it in other states.
Well, yeah, in others, yeah, but here in Jersey, when I just go get gas, then some guy comes and just pumps my stuff.
I was about to say, like in the cold, nobody has to get out.
Yeah.
For a while, mobile gas stations tried to. They started this thing where they had like their employees would basically, it wasn't totally full serve, but if they happened to be available when you pulled up, they would pump your gas and stuff. And I remember the first time it happened, I was like, am I supposed to tip him? Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on right now. It was weird. It didn't last very long.
Because everybody had the exact same thought. What do we do with this person?
Yeah. But I think mostly though, I think if you're driving like on major like highways and stuff like across country, like someone will pump your gas, right? No, maybe that's still just Jersey.
Yeah, I think, I mean, at least in the Midwest, we used to have the full serve and self serve sections.
Hold on. Do you consider yourself the Midwest?
Oh yeah, Ohio's Midwest.
Ohio's definitely the Midwest.
We're Midwest.
I never like that. Like, it doesn't seem Midwest to me.
Yeah,
because the term doesn't apply to the actual Midwest.
Exactly, because no one ever says like Mid-East, so it really like I always think it's utterly misleading when people say Midwest for Ohio. Yeah. I'm like, bitch, you're right there. Like you're right.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, when we talk to Mark, we think Deep South, but he is the Midwest.
Yeah, listen. So Midwest is essentially Ohio to what? How far west?
Like St. Louis, maybe, like Missouri.
Yeah.
So
excluding all of the West.
So what's Nevada?
The West.
Oh,
the
West. Yeah. For sure.
First of all, the fact that I say I have students in Nevada and they say it's not Nevada. They say I'm saying it wrong.
It's Nevada.
Yeah, it's Nevada.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's Nevada.
Yeah. Yes, it is. No, it's Nevada.
It's Nevada.
Nevada. Hell out of here.
But that's okay.
And it's Missouri, not Missouri.
No, I'll say Missouri.
Oh my god, Missouri. That's the worst.
I'll never say that. Wait, what else is well, chocolate. We just heard
Illinois.
I say chocolate too, though. Or I say, what's wrong with your ears? Like that's very like. Accents are.
Forget about it.
I'm not the property. I'm not that.
Forget about it.
I do have a. It depends on. I would say Jessica sounds like a Brooklyn Jew, like always. Yeah. Like
it's what it is.
Like a Brooklyn Jewish person. Like she's just Cuban in New Jersey for no reason. Oh man! All right.
So what movies have you guys watched?
Here,
do we want to talk about movies at all?
Somebody definitely watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory during by this conversation.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. All right, here are some bits of news. J.J. Abrams is producing Justice League Dark.
Okay.
Whatever.
And Overlook Hotel.
Betsy West and Julie Cohen are doing a Julia Child documentary. They did.
That I'm excited
I'm really
about.
excited about that. That should be fun. San Diego Comic-Con's canceled. Boo-hoo.
I am also weirdly excited about that.
You know what? I would like. That's not one of the more devastating things that's happened. So I was like, yeah, that's fine.
That was the one where I was like, if they don't cancel this, there is something seriously wrong with them. 100,000 people crammed into downtown San Diego is ridiculous.
Telluride added a day to their festival. So
they are
so
determined
cute
to
and
infect Mark.
optimistic.
So hold on.
Yeah.
So Mark and I have had really good extended conversation about this because we were like, discussing this at length. Because for Mark, it's this is a greater good here. It's to keep Mark alive because Mark has said publicly, and not publicly, he actually said it to me in private, but I'm making it public now.
Did I really? What did I
He
say?
said that if they let Telluride happen and we have to go back into quarantine, that's his recharge that he needs. So
I'm
it
good with
doesn't
it.
matter.
Yeah.
Like Telluride
I'm
happens,
good.
but we go back into quarantine, he's okay. So as long as he gets it, and so
They'll just infect everyone on the plane first.
yeah,
Fine.
So
Fine.
Telluride added a day to the beginning of the festival. It's going to kick off on Thursday now, because they're being proactive and knowing that they're not going to fill it to capacity. Also, Telluride isn't as populated. Like, it's not like going to a Toronto
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
or anything like that. I mean, it can get crowded. There are just certain things that probably, won't happen while we're there. They said they're still gonna have the picnic, but I've never gone to the picnic. And Mark, did you go?
Yeah, I've been to the picnic all but last year. I think was the first time I did. And it's fine. If you miss it, it's not a big deal. I think the reason Telluride stays a little bit less crowded is there's very limited places to stay. Right, it's just like condos. There's no hotels,
And it's expensive. So
and it's expensive. Right?
yeah. So going over there would it's not Toronto. Kind of anyone goes, and you try to pick up tickets or whatever. So I think what happened, probably what they should do. I don't know if they're going to do this. I haven't spoken to anyone to get confirmation on this, but that waiting list that typically happens for Telluride, they're probably just if someone cancels, they're just going to let them cancel probably and not replace it and let that number of tickets just stand. And then because they're not going to be filling all the theaters up to capacity, adding it to the beginning, they add a little more screenings, it spreads it out a bit more. And then I'm guessing that the studios may then end up stepping in for smaller movies with like online screeners and stuff like that during the duration of the festival.
It's possible.
But I did say, I said this publicly, and being proactive on the site, stuff that's been going on behind the scenes that no one's privy to. We are prepping on award circuit. I know some other outlets have talked about it too, internally. We are playing with the concept that the Oscars may not happen this year. And there's a few reasons for that. One is obviously we see COVID-19 and its impact on what it's essentially done to the industry. Every movie's moving out of the year and stuff like that. But more so, what marketing companies and studios are paying attention to is something that Dr. Fauci had shared in one of his earlier press briefings, that this could come back in the fall. And if this were to make a second wave in the fall, then I feel the Oscars would then just say, let's not do the Oscars this year. One, there's not enough movies. And two, just for safety reasons, and we'll just combo 2020 and 2021, and we'll have the Oscars in 2022. So as anyone knows their Oscar history, there is precedent for this. There's been combo years, the first few years of Oscar, when it was 27, 28, 28, 29. I'm sorry, 29, 30. Was there 28?
It's 27, 28, 28, 29, and it goes all the way up till 32, 33.
Yeah.
34 was the first solo year.
Yeah. So there is precedent for it, and I think they would probably consider that. I honestly,
if they actually thinking about this, if it was 27, 28, and then 28, 29, sorry, I just jumped in on you, but
please.
Because I've been thinking about this and I thought, man, if they combine 20 and 21 into one Oscar year, that actually is a ton of movies still.
Yeah.
I mean, next year there'd be over 300, and then the ones that are eligible from this year, you're going to have an eligibility year with over 500 movies.
Yeah.
And so actually if they decide to combine, what would be more logical is just to extend the deadline so it's like 18 months and do that 2 years in a row and then get back into a year.
Wait, so give an example. So extend it so
the eligibility period for now would be January 1st, 2020 to say May 31st, 2021. And that's what you reward. And you do the Oscars earlier. You don't wait until the following February.
So when do you hold the Oscars then after that May 31st? In the summer?
Maybe.
Okay. All right, I'm just following. So then next eligibility period.
And then you do June 2021 through December 2022. Do those Oscars in February, and then you're back on track, and then it's just annual again. So
instead of comboing 2 years, so instead of skipping a year, just you do a later Oscars for 2021, and then and then just a bigger period. We'll hold.
Yeah, and I think things that would come out later in 2021 that are ready would come out earlier in the year instead of waiting until that fall.
I have a question then, Karen. Think about what you just said. If we do to May 2021, right? Eligibility period, right?
Yeah.
You have Oscars in the summer. Mm-hmm. You go July to the next June, so you don't have an Oscars then in 2022 then. You're still getting rid of an Oscar.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, to consider, because I like the idea, but I don't think there's going to be that much volume to where it would be an issue, because all this time that we're in quarantine, nothing's getting made, right? Yeah. So I think you take away all the post-production stuff.
Yeah, this is going to ripple down the line. So actually, Karen's...
You could combine it into one.
Yeah, you could combine it, or actually you could kind of do what Karen said and extend it, like...
Just so we can have an Oscars.
Let's say we do the eligibility period till like the end of February, right? And then you hold the Oscars like in April, right? Which they've been in April before.
There you go, yeah.
So you go to April, and then the new eligibility periods from February, March 1st.
So then you shorten the 2021
year.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Because 2021 year is going to be the Ripple small year. And maybe then you extend that maybe you still extend that for a little while, because it's going to take a while for things to get back on track regardless. So I think there is a combo of what Karen does, and then maybe what I'm thinking the theory of what they'll end up doing is either a combo year of 2020 and 2021 or a shortened period. But in the same Sports Illustrated article, I remember it says that like if you let a season go on, there'll always be that asterisk at the end of that team that won that season of like, yeah, you won when there was nothing, like when like players were in quarantine and had no athletic ability and blah, blah, blah. There'll always be like this cloud over like the Super Bowl winner of this year that like, won during the quarantine. I feel like there's some of that would happen this year. Cause like, let's say the Invisible Man won Best Picture, then it's like,
I'd be okay with
it. But there just always be that asterisk, like, yeah, you won.
Right, because like, that in a normal year that would never
happen.
I think sports everyone's fearful of like that strike shortened baseball year where there was no World Series. So I think they'd take the asterisk winner as opposed to no winner.
And to give readers some insight on like how I'm not convinced that this is what's going to happen. It's just what I see it heading towards. This will be some indicators that shows me it's either happening or not happening. One, take a cue from the Emmys, what the Emmys will do this year. If the Emmys happen, I think that will be a big indicator of what is to come, because Emmys in theory, can operate, can do similarly to 2007, remember the writer's strike, and just like name their winners on TV in a press conference kind of thing. And it, it's for TV awards. It wouldn't matter. Oscars would never do that, right? But I think to see what the Emmys would do, that would be telling. I think see if Telluride and TIFF happen. If Telluride and TIFF happen, there's hope that the Oscars are still going to happen. That if Telluride and TIFF don't happen, I'm going to be more convinced than ever that we're not having an Academy Awards this year. And it only applies to Telluride and TIFF, by the way. New York can still not happen, and we could still get an Oscars. AFI can still not happen, and we still get Oscars. I think the two most important will be Telluride and TIFF, because Venice 100% is definitely not happening. I feel that. Like, there's no way they're going to let Venice happen after all this.
No, because hasn't their mortality rate been over 6%?
18%, or 10% rather. 10% in Italy. Italy's decimated. Like I wouldn't even imagine that they were gonna try, but Venice is out of the running. Telluride and TIFF, they're the biggest ones. Those are the ones that we have to keep an eye on. Go ahead, Karen. Now,
I don't remember what I was gonna say, but I will say though that I understand why some of these festivals are taking a long time to make their decisions and make their announcements, why it took so long to announce that Comic-Con was canceled. I mean, these people are putting so much work and effort and energy into planning these things. Yeah. And then to have to say, well, never mind. Like, I get it. That really is hard. And it's really... Yeah, but we're all feeling it, and we're all having to give up a lot. This is an
economic effect. Like, it's not easy just to call it and say, like, boom, we're not going to have Comic-Con. Comic-Con is, like, it's more than just nerds dressing up in costumes. That is, like, it's everything to San Diego's economic tent pole. It's like those local businesses,
all the
peak
hotels
time of the year,
and the restaurants, the Uber drivers. Yeah. I mean... Yeah, it's
same thing with South by
really
Southwest.
Going to devastate.
All these places are going to feel it. It's going to feel it for a while. Actually, another thing that may end up happening, which I'd be kind of down with too, because if they do have an Oscar as regular usual, I wouldn't be surprised if they say this year we go to 5 Best Pictures for this year. Like they just bring down the number.
That'd be the one good thing that came out of this thing, then.
But I don't know if it would be permanent, but I think it would definitely be for. Like that's because what also gave me some pause on thinking that like this that Oscar is really looking for some guidance or like there's just such indecision is that they had a meeting. We know that they had an internal meeting regarding eligibility for streaming films, and no announcement was made after that meeting.
Yeah,
and which means. I bet you a lot of people in that room probably just said, "Let's wait and see," because
that's what they're doing.
Because they're going to set a because they're going to set a precedent. Because if they say, as soon as they say streaming films are eligible, you have now lifted the thing for Netflix and every other streaming person forever.
And how do you take that back? Like, they can say for this year only, but...
you put an asterisk by it because of the situation.
You can, but you can't. Because you can, but then people will be like, no, you, like, listen, and let's say...
Look at how great that was.
Look how great that was. Look what we got nominated. We got, we got Dolomite is My Name. I'm just saying last year. We got Dolomite nominated.
Murder Mystery.
Yeah, we got
Mystery with Adam Sandler.
Exactly. We got all this stuff, we should have this all the time. And I don't think they're ready to really confront that yet. So
yeah,
I think that adds to it.
I really think I don't believe that movie theaters are done for the year. I think that at some point they will reopen. And so that eligibility period will still stand for everything that's scheduled to come out in the fall. I think I think what's going to happen is the box office is going to be down because I don't think that you're going to see, Wonder Woman's going to come out and it's not going to make, $750 million
in its opening weekend.
in the theaters. It'll do really well because it'll probably get released not very long after that on home video and people will buy it. But I think that they will preserve the eligibility period, which just means that they have to release it for 7 consecutive days in a theater in LA and and charge money for it. It doesn't even have to make money. It just has to be available for ticket purchases.
Yeah. And just to give everyone a little context and adding to what you were just saying, Karen, with box office, at this point in time period, last year, 908 films were released last year. We are at April 19th, right? So in theory, we should have at this point, based on precedent, about 350, ish movies, or between 300 and 350. We had 246 releases this year. Average box office last year per film of those 908 was $12 million. Right now, our average is 7.2 million. And the total gross of all movies last year, which was actually down from the year before, was $11.3 trillion. I'm sorry, $0.3 billion. That's a trillion.
I was like, wait, what?
The industry is thriving.
$11.3 billion was comboed of everything. It was almost 5%.
Of course, 2 of that was for Avengers.
Yeah, but that was $11.3 billion. We are currently total up to $1.7 billion right now.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to ripple for a while. And listen, and trades, publicists, marketing people, we're all thinking about, that ripple effect. Like I've said this with Karen, I've said this with many. We're okay right now. Award Circuit is good right now. April 19th, 2020, we're okay. This could ripple for a while, and we don't know. We have to prepare for those types of things that could come, because if the Oscars are not happening this year and Emmys are going to be different this year and all this, we have to adjust and adapt to those new type of surroundings, and that comes at a monetary expense. People don't see it. It's not just website, blog, and that's it. There are things that are totally connected that we have to always be weary or aware of.
Yeah.
Other bits. Let's see. Mandalorian documentary series coming. Just for the record, I still have not watched all of Mandalorian yet. I've been kind of waiting. I've been waiting for.
What are you waiting for?
I think I was said it was since quarantine started. So I'm gonna watch it during quarantine, and then I was waiting for a really good pick me up period. And I feel like I'm just about to be there now. I feel like I need something that's gonna get me out of the depths. I was really saving it for some bottomless pit of Clayton's losing it, and he needs to give himself something. So.
You need Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I need Baby Yoda. I've been saving him for a rainy day. Actually, for Sophia, this past everyone's been seeing on social media. I've been watching movies with her galore. We watched the first 4 Final Destinations together. She loves Final Destination.
Taking advantage of child service is not coming around.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've now really got to know her in a really deeper sense. She loves horror movies, but she does have room for highbrow. She's not one of those. She's not the type of girl that I would have written off if I had tried. When I used to date before Jessica, I used to have kind of qualifying questions movie wise to know if this was going to last, and one of them was what's your favorite movie? And then how can they sit during any other types of movies? So for Jessica, I asked her what her favorite movie was. She was any Hitchcock movie. And then I said, I was like, what's your favorite Hitchcock movie? And usually a red flag to me, you say Psycho. I usually go, okay. But she said Rear Window. And then I was like, oh, excuse me. What are you doing for the rest of your life? And it was fine. But Sophia has room to watch more, because we watched Forrest Gump, and she liked it a lot. She didn't understand. I was crying during it again, and she didn't understand why me and Jessica were crying. But that was just because she's a little kid, she doesn't get that. But yeah, she loves Final Destination. She loved Drag Me to Hell. My God, Drag Me to Hell. Once it was over, she said that's my favorite movie I've ever seen. And I was like, really? And then she saw Final Destination. She's like, that's my new number one. And then
Oh God.
yeah, and I was like, okay. And then what do we see? We watched The Lost Boys, and she was like, no way, that makes my top 10. And I was like,
what?
And when she said top 10, I was like, oh, you little thing, I love you. But yeah, she didn't really like Lost Boys.
Drop her off at the fire station.
What? Would you drop her off at the fire station?
She said get rid of her.
Yeah. Listen, and there's something to be said about like B horror movie camp B stuff. Like it's hard to like get a new gen on those. Like,
oh yeah, no,
yeah.
That movie is very much a product of its time.
But I also realized that at first I was really like weirded out that she wasn't scared of the things I was scared at as a kid. Like when I showed her Chucky for the first time, I was waiting for her to have nightmares, and she was like not about it. But Final Destination, I now see what she's scared of. She hates anything that gouges eyes or rips teeth out. Like she can't do any of that. But other than that, like that's why like she was like, "Oh, can we watch Saw?" And I was like, I was like, you can probably like I would let her watch Saw 1 and maybe Saw 2, but that would be it. Like because then it becomes because I didn't want to explain this to her with Final Destination. I was like, this was like the birth of torture porn, so I don't want to like start getting into that with her. But like I think I might watch Saw with her.
It's funny. I can watch arms and legs being chopped off, but I cannot handle fingers and toes.
I can't handle fingernails.
Oh,
like anything nail wise is pretty grotesque to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's why you don't like Syriana.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not why.
Yeah, it's also a foreign movie. Actually, Mark, what do Caleb and Luke like watch? Ish.
They are huge into horror, and it is so hard because horror has a lot of nudity and swearing, and I'm trying to find the ones that like at least have no nudity.
I think we have to bend a little bit for the swearing, but the sex I could totally
Yeah, it's I try and look on IMDb. They have like a parent guide there, and it has to have mild for sexuality, which basically means no nudity.
Yeah.
And then as long as the swearing isn't like beyond moderate, which is like the second highest level. So they've been watching a lot of like they watch Bird Box and
Jessica was asking me. Jessica was like, "Oh, we should show her Bird Box." She doesn't like Tremors, and I was so disappointed. So I know. I was like, no. And Jessica was like, oh, we should show her Bird Box. I was like, I think she's gonna hate it. I don't think she's gonna like even get it. Like, because and there's no monster at the end, so then she's gonna feel disappointed by it. But yeah, like we like Scream. She was like she loves. So when I asked her what her top 10 was, because after she said it doesn't make my top 10, then obviously my next question as a WordCircuit.com editor, I was like, so what is your top 10? And I was like, your number 1. She's like Final Destination. I was like 2. She was like Drag Me to Hell. I was like 3. She's like Scream. I was like 4. Scream 2. 5. Scream 3. 6. Scream 4. I was like Scream 4.
All right.
I was like, stop it.
No, Scream 4 is great.
Scream 4 is not good.
I love Scream 4.
It's not, is it better than the others?
Yeah.
I think it's better than 3.
all but the first one.
It's definitely not better than Scream 1 or Scream 2.
It's better than Scream 2.
Scream 2, people say Scream 2 is the best of the franchise.
I think Scream 2 is great. I like all 4
people
of
live
the
and
Scream
die by
movies.
Scream 2.
I like them all. It's 1, 4, 2, 3.
I'm 1, 2, 4, 3.
I think it's exactly my order. Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 3. Because 4 is like campier than like it like 3 was really trying to take itself seriously and connect the dots, and that's where
3 is campy. Jay and Silent Bob show up.
No, but 3 gets really ridiculous in terms. I don't like the sewing together of like even though 4 does it, obviously
2 started that.
Like well, 2 does it cleverly though.
2 is a sequel. 3 makes the point of it's not a sequel; it's the closing chapter of a trilogy, and they really play that up, and it works. But it's a little
they all work
too
on their own accord,
forced sometimes.
Yeah, Dewey's also my favorite character.
I love Dewey.
I wish him and Courtney Cox were still together. They were my favorite couple for a long time. All right, let's wrap this up with a few bits. Soul moved to Raya and the Last Dragon's new date, and Raya and the Dragon is next year now.
So sad.
Internet blew up for the first images of Timothée Chalamet in Dune.
It's a ton of people who have never seen the other movie.
It's going to be 2 parts, I believe. Denis Villeneuve has confirmed.
Yeah.
2 boring movies, great.
Well, I think splitting it up into 2, you might have a bigger opportunity to make it interesting. But
I mean, it depends on where they split it. But I mean, that story just wasn't interesting.
Listen, in Denny, I trust. Dude knows how to direct the hell out of movies.
I think this is a poor choice for him, but we'll see.
Listen, I never thought he would improve Blade Runner because I hate Blade Runner, and Blade Runner 2049 is awesome.
What the hell?
Yeah, I think Blade Runner 1 is just like boring, but Blade Runner 2049 is pretty amazing.
Which version of Blade Runner do you not like?
Oh, actually, I do. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know what version I've seen in comparison, so I can't.
Clearly, you need to watch all 16 versions now. And
I also hate that. I hate when there's I also can't tell you what version I've seen of Apocalypse Now either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate when there's so many versions that exist in the world, and I also hate that I couldn't show Sophia the original Star Wars without the CGI.
That's because you didn't buy the DVDs with the theatrical release like I did.
I did have the DVDs, and then Clayton 20 years ago didn't know any better. Or not 20, it was more like 15. As soon as once I get Blu-rays, I sell my DVD versions because I don't need them anymore. And I didn't pick up or know that there would never be an original theatrical cut in existence. So I don't have them anymore, which is the worst choice I've ever made.
I have the VHS somewhere. That's good. What I have.
Do you have Mark? Do you have a VCR in your house somewhere?
I have one buried in storage somewhere, yeah.
Do you have VHSs still somewhere?
Not movies, but I have home movies and stuff that, the original copies or whatever.
I finally got rid of my VCR when I moved last year and all of my video tapes.
But she kept her Laserdisc.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That thing's timeless.
The only Laserdisc I own is the random Laserdisc they sent me for a Most Violent Year.
But do you have a Laserdisc player?
Nope.
There we go.
Mark, I imagine that at your funeral, I will play a video with all your home movies like at the end of Philadelphia.
That would be awesome.
That's what I imagine. I imagine us playing a video of you flying a kite.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It'll be 6 weeks after time.
Mike, Mark, have you ever flown a kite before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've only flown a kite once. I've tried to fly a kite once.
How do you think electricity was discovered?
It's a common Sunday activity in the Midwest here.
I have also never mowed a lawn.
Oh my gosh, really?
I've never touched a lawnmower. Where would I have touched one?
That's a good point.
I mean, Home Depot, I guess.
Don't you have a house?
Yes, I don't have. It's not that type of house. I live in the city. It's a 2-family. I have.
It doesn't have grass.
I do have grass. I just don't. There's nothing to mow. I have mulch. I throw mulch on top.
It's just weird to me because here we have in the city you have apartments and townhouses and then houses, and the houses have yards.
Oh well, yeah. There are house. Well, I'm trying to think in Jersey City. There is no one. There's no one here has an acre of land. There is no acre.
Well, no, we don't have acres of land either, but we still have yards.
I have a backyard, but so I have actually. I usually put it here, or I have it. It's listed somewhere. I think I have a 0.14 acre of land that my house is on. I think it's 0.14. What do you?
How big is your backyard?
It's very small. It's you can see pictures.
12 by 12.
You can see pictures of it. Here, I'll put it in the chat in Skype. This is my house.
As Mark calculates the 6 acres of land he built his house on.
I know, he built his house. That's the big difference.
Well, it's the Midwest. He just went and claimed empty space. It was like, it's mine now.
We just plant flags.
Yeah. Oh, and you can.
So you've got paved.
You can actually see pictures of the house of my apartment
really nice.
Before I did the construction. The before pictures are there because obviously they didn't take pictures after. But that's my house.
That's nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's small. Like, it's, big thing, like, backyards are, like, hard to come by here. That was one of my requirements when we got our when I moved here and we were renting before I bought. I was like, we have to move somewhere that has a backyard. I want to be able to barbecue.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, this has been just the most nothing episode of all time.
I watched Killing Eve this week. It's really good. I watched all of Killing Eve this week.
Sorkin movies and What We Do in the Shadows. That was me.
I'm gonna show Sophia The Others before it gets remade into something stupid.
Nice.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go for that today. Oh, you know what I finished? I finished On My Block on Netflix. It is so good. It is super inappropriate and not for kids, even though it takes place with kids and it makes you feel really uncomfortable. But just know that they are not really 13 as they're supposed to be in the show, so that they're adults, and then it makes you feel fine watching it because it's like brutal. It is like not brutal. It's brutally honest. It's really funny, but it's also very honest in the way so there's like one of the boys is constantly masturbating. Like he'll go into his room and like just keeps doing it, and it just seems like just something that I knew from my friends and other stuff growing up, and it just seemed very real. But he's not a kid. He's really an adult. He's just very small. And he's from Jersey City, actually. He was actually he was in Logan. He was the kid that like raised the stuff off the ground. I don't know what character that was. Like that could lift stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lift stuff guy.
Yeah, lift stuff kid. I don't know, whatever power that is. All right. With that, we start giving our followings. So, Joey, where can they follow you?
At Joey Maggots on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, home.
Can't follow you home. We're home.
Pretty much.
No, true.
Karen, where can they follow you?
I am on Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd at Karen M. Peterson.
At Mimi's Cafe or whatever made up place you're saying.
That place is good. They have really good quiche.
Oh my god. The site again just started publishing a bunch of Taron Egerton Rocket Man trailers. Jesus.
The site has become self-aware.
I feel like it has. Like something...
There's got to be a plugin that's gone crazy.
There's something.
The site has become self-aware and it has bad taste. I'm ashamed to admit it.
The site has cabin fever as well.
Is that what it is? It just wants to break out.
It's been stuck inside too long.
Get me out of here.
There's one very bored Russian who really wants to watch
If you're not going to post good content, I will.
Yeah.
Then why do you post about Rocket Man?
I said what I said, Joey.
And I said what I said.
Rocket Man's good.
Yes, it is.
It's fine. Anyway, they can follow me at Mark Likes Movies.
Can they follow you there?
That's where they can follow me.
And does he?
Not really doing a lot right now with it, but you know.
Well, you're not really doing a lot anyway.
Right. That's about it.
Mark,
Facebook has been the big.
Mark, work-wise, do you feel like you've been busier than you've ever been?
No, because
Nobody's
there's a
driving.
lot of right. Well, that's So, and I won't say more about work stuff in that regard, but I'll say, when I have a work day, I do a lot of like moving around and going to places in the office, and there's some downtime with social stuff. It's hard to explain, but the normal 9-hour day is basically shrunk to like 6 hours now. Like I can get way more done in a shorter amount of time because there isn't that social part of it. So, yeah. So
because you're not walking around like bothering people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just poke your head in your kid's room and be like, so.
Right. There's no requesting them to come in on Saturdays right now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can request your kids to come in on Saturday.
What celebrity do you miss the most?
Of all time?
No, right now.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I meant
does that count?
I meant like seeing them like.
I have watched Moneyball a couple times recently, and I do miss him.
Yeah.
It could just be Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm okay. I'll be okay with that.
I was actually watching The Master a little bit in bed yesterday.
Nice light go to sleep viewing.
It is. It's a nice little thing to watch. Actually, I don't know if you guys have been doing this, but I just find myself like looking at random scenes like from movies whenever like I have downtime, which is a lot, you know. And I went and looked, and then I was watching the Joaquin Phoenix interview scene. It was very nice.
I mean, The American President is on like every 20 minutes right now, so I'm okay with that. Just sort of being on a constant loop.
Tom Cruise movies just keep popping up. I'm not even looking for them. They're just there.
They're just there.
It's because you subscribe to Cruise Box. It's a service.
I'm going to make that a service.
Yeah. I won't make the joke I want to make. We got a good 10 minutes of movie talk out of this hour and a half conversation.
Yeah, I know. I mean...
Well,
that's what people need. People want to hear about food and all that stuff and all that good stuff. All right. So you can follow me at Word Circuit. You download us on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Spotify. You can listen to us there. You can go to wordcircuit.com for all your entertainment news, hub.wordcircuit.com for all your predictions that have not been updated because it changes too much and I'm not even about to try.
Next week, Mark's gardening tips.
Yep. You can opt in to receive one of our newsletters. We do send newsletters, and you can support the site in this very unprecedented time, and to make sure that we are still around when all this is over, and become a patron, which there's a link on the site for you to do that now, and there'll be a link in the comments as well. So please support us if you can, so we can continue to do this for as long as possible. We'll see you at the movies. Social distance. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Circuit Breaker is brought to you by awardcircuit.com. Just plug in.